Okay, so the last type of tissue is known as the vascular tissue, or also known as the complex tissue. Okay, so for this vascular tissue, it is also a type of permanent tissue, means they are not dividing already. So we have two types of vascular tissues here, xylem and phloem. So xylem we have two types, xylem vessels and also tracheids. Phloem we have sieve tube and also companion cells. Okay, so xylem, tracheids and also vessel element. Both of these tracheids and vessel elements, they are made up of secondary cell wall and dead. So xylem is a dead cell. Okay, so what is the function of xylem? Is used to transport water and dissolve mineral salts to the upper parts of the plants, because the plant absorb water from the root. So the water will be transported upwards, okay, by xylem. So the difference of tracheids and vessel element. Tracheids is a long, thin and tapered ends. So you can imagine long, thin, tapered ends. Okay, the end is sharp, which have lignin hardened secondary cell wall. So the cell wall is made up of lignin. So you remember the characteristics of lignin, which is impermeable to water. Okay, so since it's impermeable to water, water cannot enter, so tracheids is a dead cell, xylem is a dead cell. Alright, so they have pits. Okay, pits is the hole, okay, which can be found on the wall, the cell wall. So all the vascular plants, they have tracheids. So water flow from cell to cell through the pits, okay, and also function in mechanical supports. So vessel element, they are wider, shorter and thinner cell wall, less tapered compared to tracheids. So it is wider, shorter and the wall is thinner, okay, means less tapered compared to tracheids. They are not so sharp end. Vessel elements align end to end, okay, from one element to another element. The end wall have perforation plates enable water to flow freely. So the end here, they have some space, okay, some holes. So this hole is called perforations. Okay, the perforation. So this hole, the whole perforations here, enable the water to flow. Only found in higher flowering plants. So tracheid can be found in all the plants with vascular system. But this vessel element only in higher level plants. Okay, so the end walls are perforated. So each of these called vessel element. So they have larger in diameter, specialized for water transport and for mechanical strength. Okay, so the difference of tracheids and vessel element here. This one is thin, long, tapered end. Okay, on the wall here they have the pits for water flow. For vessel element, from one element to another element, they have perforations. Okay, the perforation plate. So this is the diagram, perforation plate, which allowed the water to flow. Okay, so both of these, tracheid and vessel element, they function to transport the water. Okay, both of them have pits. This one can be found in all plants, all vascular plants. This one only can be found in higher order plants. Okay, vessel element is shorter, wider, less tapered. Okay, next one, phloem is to transport organic substance. Okay, the food for the plant, for example, carbohydrate, amino acid, from the leaf to the storage organs and growing parts of the plant body, because the leaf undergo the process of photosynthesis. So after they manufacture the sucrose there or the food there, they will transport to the other parts of the plants through phloem. Okay, so just now our xylem is a dead plant, dead tissue, but for phloem is living tissue. Okay, it's alive at maturity, but they have reduced cell contents and no nucleus, right? So the two types of phloem are sieve tube elements and also companion cells. So for sieve tube elements, there are many elements, same like our vessel element just now. They join together to form a long tube. So the end walls are perforated, means they have holes to form the sieve plates with sieve pores. Okay, this allowed the cytoplasmic connection between sieve elements and the flow of liquid from one sieve tube element to the next. Okay, sieve tube element no lignin in their cell wall, but they have cellulose in their cell wall because it's a living cell. Nucleus degenerate. Okay, they do not have nucleus when they become mature. However, they have still some cytoplasm in a mature cell. So since they do not have nucleus, so all the cellular activity they have to depend on their friend known as companion cell. Okay, so companion cell is the friend of the sieve tube. So they're just adjacent to the sieve tube, means it is at the side of sieve tube, closely associated with the sieve tube elements. So sieve tube do not have nucleus, so they depend on companion cell. So companion cell must have nucleus, then cytoplasm, small vacuoles. So they are metabolically active because sieve tube depends on companion cell. Okay, they have numerous mitochondria and ribosome. The companion cell connect to the sieve tube by using plasmodesmata. Okay, for phloem, they do not have pits. Like the xylem, but they have plasmodesmata. So for companion cell, they move the sugars or amino acids for the sieve elements. So this is the diagram for the sieve tube here. They are made up of many sieve tube elements. Each of these called sieve tube elements. Between elements, they have sieve plate. Okay, the sieve plate. On top of the sieve plate, you have the perforation, the pores called sieve pores. Okay, sieve plate. So for our sieve tube, they do not have nucleus. The cytoplasm also much more reduced, very small size of the cytoplasm. So the reason that they do not have nucleus or the small cytoplasm, because they want to leave the space here for the flow, okay, for the flow of the food within the sieve tube element. If they have large nucleus or they have a lot of cytoplasm, means the food has no space to flow. Okay, so since they have much reduced size of the cytoplasm and no nucleus, so they depends on the friend here. Okay, the adjacent cell here called companion cell. So this companion cell is a complete cell with a nucleus, with cytoplasm, with chloroplast, and so on. So this cell will carry out all the cellular activity and provide the necessary nutrients for their friends, which is sieve tube element. Okay, so compare xylem and phloem here. Xylem, dead element, phloem, living. Xylem cell wall, lignin. Okay, made up of lignin, so it's lignified cell wall. So that's why lignin impermeable to water make xylem a dead cell. Phloem, no lignin cell wall, but the cell wall is made up of the normal cellulose. For xylem, they have pits on their cell wall for the flow of water. Phloem, no pits, but they have plasmodesmata for the connection of our companion cell and sieve tube. Xylem function conduct water and minerals from the root to other parts of the plants. Phloem translocate the photosynthetic product, for example, sucrose, from the leaf to other parts of the plants. Okay, so that's all for plant tissues.